how to make a French braided loaf of bread. The recipe calls for, well, my recipe in my brain is about 4 or 5 cups. I don't measure. I just put in half a cup of sugar, mix that together, adds about a quarter cup of sunflower olive oil. You can use vegetable oil. You don't have to use a mixture that I'm using. By all means, do not use corn oil. Use vegetable oil if you possibly can. And then put some salt on top of that. I use a coarse sea salt. And I don't have a measurement on that. I just take a little bit in my hand, just spread it around in there. And then put some warm water. You can also, and don't forget the yeast. The yeast is probably 1.5 teaspoons. My dad used to make homemade bread, and he would get it going, and early in the morning, let it rise. And that's what you gotta do. You gotta let the dough rise. I didn't do this at night. I didn't feel like messing with it. But he would do it early in the morning, get that dough going. And then he would, towards evening, he would get a pan, oil it down like I've got oiled, and he would have just a loaf pan, or just like a big pizza pan. And then he would put that bread in there and let it rise again. We would go off to bed, and I'm like 4 years old, and you could, after we went to bed, you could smell, he would open up the upstairs door, and you could smell that homemade bread baking in the oven. He would take it out, cut up a couple slices of it, and then he would slather the butter on, and he would come upstairs, give one to my sibling, and he would come into my room, and he'd give one to me. I didn't care if there was any crumbs after this point in time, because frankly, who cares if there's crumbs? And then he would, he would do that. It was a treat. It was a treat to be get that homemade bread. At night, one night, my sibling did not want his, and my dad, I think, was kind of disappointed. He didn't want it because he made this. It's like you're supposed to, not supposed to want it, but he was feeling down, I think. And he even said to me, he doesn't want it. He didn't know why he didn't want it. And I looked at him. I didn't want him feeling any more disappointed than he was. And I said, Dad, I'll take it. He said, are you sure? And I'm like 4 years old. I was like, homemade bread? Are you kidding? I'll take both of them. And I ate both of them. Obviously, it was too much for this pan. So I'm going to do a little thing here. See if I can get this in here without doing something strange to this. Because I've got one pan here. There we go. That's not too bad. I had one of my neighbors look at me and she said, you're making homemade bread in your room. And I said, yes. She said, you're making homemade bread in your room. And I said, yes. Apparently I didn't think anything wrong with it. I've made several loaves of panettone, and this is how it looks. If you had a real nice long pan, you could just let it stretch out. It does have to rise, and obviously I don't have it risen, but I will try to put a picture of it on here later on. So it's going to take a while to rise, but it should really puff up. And you can also put some little crevices of fruit in here if you want, just for decoration mainly. but I'll probably just leave it as it is. But you never know about me. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.